Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast, where wealth is energy, success is a mindset, and abundance is your birthright. I am Danielle Amos, your host and mentor, here to help you unlock prosperity, embody confidence, and manifest a life you love. Take a breath, align with your truth, and let's manifest millions. Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast. This is your host, Danielle Amos, and today I have an incredible guest. She is now a friend, a colleague, and to be quite honest, a woman that I looked up to for many years. Her name is Danielle LaPorte, and I'm so grateful to have her in the studio with me today. If you don't know Danielle, she's a fellow Canadian. She is the creator of the Heart-Centered Membership and Leadership Program, with over 400 leaders in 30 countries hosting community and business-based events. She's a member of Oprah's Super Soul 100 and former think tank director in Washington, D.C., and she now speaks on heart intelligence and spiritual well-being. She's the author of How to Be Loving, the Firestarter Sessions, White Hot Truth, and the Desire Map. She also shares on this episode the name of her next book coming out later in 2025. There's a bonus episode with Danielle as well, where she gives some practices only for those mystic millionaires in the making that are part of the subscribers. You'll get your hands on that. I know you're going to love this episode. We were just in Egypt together, and she vulnerably talks about her experience there and why it's been so important and what's happened since. And then we go off on a few tangents. You're going to absolutely love this interview with Danielle LaPorte. Thank you for being here. So welcome, Danielle, to the Mystic Millionaire podcast. Thank you for being here as a guest. After 2 trips to Egypt. So Danielle and I met in Egypt in November of last year.
Yeah.
2024.
2025.
And now
No, 24.
24. And then we went back in May, just recently. And we've spent some interesting times together.
It's so bonding to be in like an initiation process together and just in like messy human stuff together and in leadership together. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a flashback to when you came to my door.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was not well, and Danielle came to my door on the boat. We were on a boat on the Nile for about 5 nights, and I had found myself ill the night before, and she came to see if I was all right. She bring me lots of goodies, as a mom does. And I just basically
It was
said,
uproarious packing and getting all the functions together.
Yeah.
We rolled. Yeah.
all
we
my
rolled.
body functions
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Got you.
So Egypt, what had you answer the call in the first place back in 2024?
It was really basic. My son and I were talking about him moving out, and I was like, we need to do a little road trip before we go. And within a half hour, Joey McCune, who we do the trips with, messaged and said, oh, I have 2 places left on this pilgrimage, and here's the dates. And I was like, oh. And I just texted Harper, my kid, and said, want to go to Egypt? And he was like, yeah. And we just booked. And it's so my personality of just like, no questions. Just tell me where I need to be. Just, okay, Cairo, this date. Okay. No idea what we were in for, and deeply felt the call.
Yeah.
And now we're taking people. Like, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm going back and back. Yeah. It's home. It's a home away from home. Yeah.
And did Harper feel the same, your son?
Harper is 21, and he's a little sexy Buddha. And he wouldn't say he felt the call.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, yeah,
It was the adventure.
going. And he knew what he was getting when he got there. Yeah. He knew he was getting a deep clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was incredible to have him on the trip.
Yeah.
And with all the women as well. I
Yeah.
mean, there were a couple guys, but really,
Yeah.
surrounded by that energy.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, and then we go back. So
Yeah.
we go back and bring people in May.
Yeah.
And how did you find that different? I found it very different to be in a
Yes.
leadership role and also being there before, knowing what was coming and being and surrendering to the experience. I found it like I was way more grounded in the experience.
Well, I felt like part one was deep clean. Like it really did work on that astral body level. I felt I really had to recalibrate after that trip. And it was like, whoa, I really stuck everything in the socket and got it.
Yeah.
And the second trip, I was like, I'm gonna tango this time. Like I know what I'm in for.
Yeah.
I know where those spots are. And I am bring it.
Yeah. Give it.
And I also and I didn't go fearlessly, like I thought, God, am I gonna get more purge on this second trip? Is it gonna crack me in a way that's gonna crack me up? And it wasn't that at all. It was much more gentle.
Mhm.
It felt much more this time I was less glamored, and I would really like to talk more about this with people who go in the future. Whereas, like, I don't feel there's this deity named Isis to worship who is giving us codes. I feel there is this energy
Mhm.
that is very particular codes, and it does have these gifts and these characteristics. There's the diamond, there's the ruby, there's the emerald, but they all come, it's all a mineral. And the more I approach everything in Egypt, everything in life, all deities, this way, I feel the more I can allow in of that energy because my mind isn't caught up in, I mean, all those gods are anthropomorphized, right? They're
Yeah.
all, the mind needs, we'll make her female, we'll name her this. And I'm sure that energy that got named Isis said, call this energy Isis.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to appear in physical form. Even with that Hathor energy, there's all sorts of channeled stuff you can read about Hathor. There's a reason that the Hathors appear and they're 10 feet tall. And there's a reason the cow is part of her visage and all of that. But yeah, so this trip was more gentle. It felt, instead of lightning bolts, it just felt like radiance. Yeah.
And what experience in the first trip, well, there were several, but was there one that really changed you that
Yeah.
you walk with now?
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I feel emotional when you say that. And I was actually very moved by the Sphinx. And, in our journey, like you start at the Sphinx and then you go to the goddess temples, you could say. And the Sphinx is just kind of warm you up. And there's so much mystery around the Sphinx. Like it's hard to find information on Sphinxy. And there's so much disagreement about, is it 4,000 years old? Is it 40,000?
I was going to say the age alone, they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. And I was very moved. And the message from Sphinx, in addition to getting this amazing breathwork practice assignment, which has been life enhancing,
Which is in the bonus, by
which
the
is
way.
in the bonus episode. We talk about it and go get the bonus. The message was, as we walk around, you're inclined, you just intuitively take off your shoes. You really want to feel that sand and that soil. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to walk around the Sphinx 3 times. I'm just going to be in gratitude. You want to touch everything. You just want to like lay on everything. And the message was, the gratitude is mutual. And it really helped me level out that kind of, I think I have a hangover from many lifetimes and from Catholicism of, this God that is both punishing and rewarding.
Mm.
So a lot of the medicine I get in Egypt is about just equanimity, leveling that playing field, and just like, Danielle, all the humans here, we are so grateful that you come because they want to ease our suffering. They want to get the light into us. They want to help scrub the astral body. They're waiting for you to show up for the teachings. And something that our co-guide, we travel with an Egyptologist, this beautiful Muslim woman who's just so knowledgeable and steeped in wisdom. And she says, Egypt is happy that you're here for the activations because you activate Egypt. And it's like, right, that's this kind of mental sacred geometry. This is a dance. And if you really believe that we're all one, we all come from the same source, same prana that made the Sphinx and Isis and Hathor, and who's the third one? Sekhmet made us.
Yeah.
And you have this experience. And this has been, now that maybe this is why I feel moved. So thanks for the question. I think, I'm seeing this through line of like, when I really show up in earnest in these places, they're grateful.
Yeah, because it's you and it's me and
Yeah. And I think like the emotion around that is somebody just asked me, as we're recording this, I'm in the middle of this mastermind, right? So I'm hanging out with these baller people every day and everybody's, you just sit down at lunch and it's like this great deep question lobbed at you. You're either talking about algorithms or your shadow, and which is the way I like it. And somebody just asked me yesterday, what's the shadowiest thing that's hung around with you so long? Like, what's the thing you just haven't kicked yet?
wow.
And it actually relates to all this medicine and the initiations of Egypt, which I really see as like the pinnacle of my searches. Like, I've done the Mary Magdalene pilgrimage. We've done India, and it's that there is a force greater than I determining what I get. And, I am a student of karma. Nobody gets out of karma.
Yeah.
But I recently came across some Yogananda teachings. By recently, I mean like in the last couple of years. And I love Yogananda's approach to karma, which is he's such a badass. He's just like, burn through it. Do not let your karma hold you back in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And this gets into something. I remember you and I sitting by the pool talking about manifesting abundance, wealth. And there's always this question for me. What about karma? Because I don't know if it's everybody's path in a lifetime to make of the millions or find the love or whatever. You got to burn through the lesson.
But
And what did you say?
And I said, could it be everyone's path?
Mm.
Because if they desire it, it's for them. And that's maybe the mission, to burn through that karma. I want to acknowledge, I want to hold your hand. You're like, you're so beautiful. And your emotions and presence. Thank you for you. But yeah, I said I do believe that if they have that desire, it's for them. And that if they have karma, that is the mission, to burn through it in this life. Do you remember me saying something different?
I do remember that. And this point about desire, I wrote the book on desire. Yeah.
Literally. And I told you this when I met you. It was the book that I used when I was teaching lesson 1 of TIR, would have been like 10 years ago, to supplement Bob's work, was the desire map, because I wanted to help people get to the feeling. And you said, what is the feeling, that desire? Because it's not the thing you want, it's the feeling that you're going after. And that chart that's in that book, I gave to everyone. There's a chart in the book. There is. So,
but this point about if you desire it, it's for you. What I would add to that, just kind of want to hose it down a minute, because you have to be desiring from your higher self.
Yes.
So like the thing I'm on about these days is higher desires. So for me, desires out
Versus what?
embodiment.
So desiring from your higher self versus, like, for our listeners,
Your lower self.
Yeah.
So versus my emotional self, my lower chakric self, my astral self, my unhealed, my inner child self, my unconscious, my subconscious content,
Yeah.
the stuff in the basement of my psyche, wants $1,000,000 because my father never said he loved me and he'll finally be proud of me.
Right.
Wants the car, the boat, the babe, all the things because family of origin wounding. Or just to like pull this up even further, I'm just going to go off on a sidetrack for a second, is I think, most of us, we go through our growth stages. We realize we're repeating the same habits patterns because this is a family of origin stuff. I think the stuff we get from our family of origin is actually a soul assignment. So the soul says, let's work on abandonment issues this lifetime. Here is a father and mother who will serve those abandonment issues for you.
Yeah.
And when you entertain it from that perspective, it makes forgiving a lot easier. Like, oh, my soul chose you. And yes, you were abusive and neglectful and whatever. You will actually get to some gratitude, not for the abuse and the neglect, but for the opportunity to burn karma, expand, realize how powerful you are.
And to feel I am forgiving, to be I am forgiving in this life.
Yeah.
To be that.
To be that embodiment. So you've got to do the work to have desires that are actually heart-centered desires.
Can a person have the same desire? So let's take the $1,000,000.
No.
We're on the Mystic Millionaire podcast. So if my desire is $1,000,000 and I, in the beginning of recognizing that desire, I'm like, oh, it's because of the shadow stuff, because my dad didn't, or I didn't have money growing up, or la la.
Yeah.
And yet could that desire still be from the higher self?
Yeah.
But what we recognize, I believe, is that the whole purpose of the desire is not to get the $1,000,000, because the money doesn't matter really. It's about the growth that your higher self seeking, and by you admitting, having the courage to say, the $1,000,000 is what I want. And I go through the path of that growth, and I'm healing and understanding what is in that journey, what it's going to take for me to be the person that holds the $1,000,000. Would you say it comes from the higher self desire then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's two pillars to this. One is everything you've just explained, like that desire is a seed within me. And I grow into that. That desire. I step into it. It's like Carl Jung would say, throw the dream out in front of you and walk into it, and you become your whole self. So yes to that. And I think we learn to come from the heart versus the ego on the goal. So I could say, I used to have this intense need to be seen, and I really hungered for fame. And like when I was 13, people were like, what are you going to be when you grow up? I was like, famous.
That was your answer.
And I didn't even know. And, there's no internet, right?
Yeah.
And now I see that as part of my dharma. And I go through this, but I had to this is interesting, is I had to let that go.
Let the fame, the desire for fame go?
So it's like, that biblical teaching of like, give it all and receive all.
Yeah.
And you really legit gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be like, I'm just gonna see if
Like part sort of let it go. I know.
If I demo let go,
No.
if it's coming back, right?
Yeah.
I went through like a real offering up to God. Faith. It was a few months of just like, take my career. I can sling beer. I love worst case scenarios. Like, my worst case scenario at that point in my life was just, I can be a consultant and teach people how to grow their social media. I'm not meant to be a spiritual teacher on stage, right? And then I also gave up my desire for a life partner. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just meant to be this really foxy nun. Love it. The sexy one in the habit.
I love it.
And I really legit, it was very real fire time. And the cat came back. Yeah. And I got everything I let go of. And then some. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about letting go. And I love to bring like practical things that people can
Yeah.
bring into their life so that they can follow in the footsteps. Because I believe some of our listeners know or feel that there's something that they're being asked to let go of, that they're holding on too tight.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for asking about this because I'll give you the scoop.
Mm.
This is a scoop. The first time I've said publicly the name of my next book
Okay.
is Bless and Release, coming out October 1st.
Is
of
it?
2025. Yeah.
Danielle.
Yeah. Danielle just decided. Here's the thing. You can't actually let anything go.
Mm.
You have to integrate it, transmute it, bless it, and then release it. So everything you ever thought, everything you've ever done actually happened. The past does exist. It all exists. The
Yeah.
past, the present, and the future exist.
Yeah.
And so you can't annihilate anything. And I think that's just, for me, I've realized annihilation has been like my deepest fear. I mean, this is really deep terrain, but just like that I don't exist, that my thoughts, that my desires, that God's just going to say, you're a no. It's worse than death.
Yeah.
You don't exist. And I think most humans have that wired in them, this fear of annihilation. And it comes up in all sorts of ways. We fear death. We fear poverty. We fear being broken up with all the things. Anyway, back to the astral plane of things you created. You have everything that you've created, everything that you would label as negative,
Yeah.
just wants your attention.
Okay.
So the grief of loss obviously needs your attention. The neuroses, the obsession, you want to lose the weight, you want to get over the breakup. All of that stuff is living in your memory, in the basement of your psyche, saying, please pay attention to me. Love me as is. You're not paying attention? Okay. How about a little anxiety attack? God, you're still not paying attention to this heartbreak from 10 years ago. How about we'll just give you a little health scare.
Yeah.
How about a fender bender? Until you have to physically stop, go, where is this coming from? And you do all the things we do, whether it's cold plunging or the walking or the meditating or an ashram, and you go, oh my God, it's the miscarriage. It's the one thing my brother said to me. It's my mother's mental illness, and I've just kept it here. Okay, well, you get to transmute that actually into power. So the more you say, I just want to let it go. See, like even the physical gesture, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can't let your fear go.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
There's still something about like bypassing it, isn't it? Like when you're doing that.
And this is actually, that gesture that is energy force. What you apply force to will magnify.
Yeah.
Bring it in. So apply force to opening your mind. The heart's always open. The heart is always vast. And then all those things you've been ashamed of or been bugging you or pain, you bring them into the heart space and they actually relax. They just relax. The fear gets to be fear.
Yeah.
The grief gets to be grief. You get to honor the people you've lost. You get to honor the heartbreak, all of that stuff. The obsession and anxiety actually gets to still be itself, because isn't it? It's a part of life. And it chills out. And then some of those things really start to dissipate and they become compost. And you're just like, you will get into this phase, this space where you're just like, bring it on. You're going to start to eat shadow for breakfast. And you realize you are resilient. You are vast. You can handle anything. And because you know you can handle anything, you don't have to handle everything.
That's a good line.
It starts to, thanks, I got to put that in the book. I just came up with it. It starts to, you actually carry less fear. I wouldn't say you become fearless. But when you carry less fear, you're not magnetizing things to test you. Afraid of this? Afraid of that? Let's bring up, So you realize you are this transmuter. And so it's less about letting go. It's like, bring it in. I'm going to let it relax. I'm going to actually turn this into power.
Yeah.
Taken care of. And you can meet the X and you can launch again and you can spend what you need to spend, or you can pull back your spending. You have so much to teach us about money. It's everywhere. And you haven't let anything go. You've just put in this power turbine.
How do you personally walk with the power that you've transmuted? Like, how do you keep it conscious? Do you have any sort of practice, or do you find it naturally just happens? Like, I have little tricks for myself. That's
Like, what are your tricks?
Well, when I go through a situation and I'm transmuting in real time, like I'm going through processing and not ignoring it, not bypassing, I find the lessons and the wisdom that's coming from it. And I see it as like my capacity to hold more. Like the more I experience expands me, so that I'm walking with this wisdom. And then I want to ask myself, okay, so how the wisdom or the lesson is a conscious thought or a conscious idea, but then I need to embody it. So I ask myself, like, how am I embodying this in different scenarios? So I'll journal about it. Sometimes I put Post-it notes around me
You're trying to seal the deal. You really want to lock it into your cells.
Yeah, and I want like cues for myself to remind me, because my old self before this event or the situation, it's very easy to go back into that old way. So I'm looking for things, and it's different every time. But I've used literally Post-it notes to remind me to be different and to embody it. So
it's great
have
practice.
anything that you...
I have this prayer that I borrow from A Course in Miracles. Holy Spirit, fill my mind with the thoughts of God. And I say that fairly regularly. And I often think in terms of thought, speech, and actions.
Yeah.
So, my other layers of prayer, I want to embody certain virtues. So I'll say, may I be generous in my thoughts, my speech, and my actions. And for me, I use the word speech instead of words, because speech is also your tone. It's your cadence, because I could say hi, or I could say hi, so that for me is just like, remember tone, Danielle.
Good distinction.
Yeah. Thoughts, speech, actions. And I practice in the morning. And I practice throughout the day as well, but I am really in this pattern, this beautiful habit of like, kind of set it and forget it. Just, I did my work. I tuned in. I asked for guidance. I'm just going to assume every single idea I have that day is a great one.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
Yeah. And
until I'm proven otherwise.
Well, it goes back to trust, like that idea of setting the intention and then trusting that you follow that intention.
Yeah. But you're really onto something about sealing the deal and Post-its. Like, I think this is why tapping really works. You hit the meridians. When I do, like I've got a speaking gig tomorrow, and there is something powerful about just pacing with it, moving with it, and getting it in on a cellular level. And the body needs to hear it.
Yeah, because I think it's one thing to recognize the change or transmute the energy, like when do your work. But I see people like do the work, but then not actually embody what they said. I'm like, you just mentioned this, and then you're acting a totally different way out there, in your life.
Yeah.
And so I like to help.
You have to want it.
Yeah, you do.
Like you want it, so you do the Post-it notes. Mm-hmm. Like I've seen people who have faced death, and they go through these opening experiences, and all of a sudden they become your hyper spiritual friend. And like a year later, they're doing the same old bullshit. Just like, you almost died, and now you're overworking again, and you talking like that, you talking smack again, Yeah. And I'm just like, I guess it didn't awaken that higher desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to desire.
Back to desire. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you talk a lot about the heart center, being a heart-led leader.
Yeah.
What can you explain for our listeners what that means, what that looks like for you? And I notice for myself, I'm very much heady. So bringing my energy into my heart has been a practice over the years and very intentional with that. What does it mean for you to be a heart-led leader?
Well, I relate with being, I'm like thinking, I love thinking, let's just think about it.
Yeah.
So breath work helps me. Really, I think the most like I need to just get a tattoo that just says breathe into your heart
Yeah.
with an arrow, maybe. It's making love driven choices over ego choices. It's choosing from your healed self. Maybe sometimes it's your future self versus your unhealed self. It's about discernment. And this is something I think gets lost a lot in this conversation. You know, we talk about being a loving leader. Most people get that. Like, you're going to be inclusive with everybody's opinions and everybody's shadow and their light and all the things. And you're going to have a triple bottom line. I think we can get a little mushy with the description around heart-centered leadership. And that's why I want to have more conversations about discernment because, you know, a mother, I'm not into tough love at all. I probably disciplined my kid like 4 times and all the time I could discipline him. But love is, this is going to sound so cheese, but stay with me. Love is like the sun and it just shines on everything, but it sees everything. So it is very discerning. It has clarity. It is a very bright light. It can see where your games are and your racket and your shadow and all of that. And you are welcome anyway. And it knows where to put you. It knows, like, I'm going to grow you this way. So, and this has been, I would say, embodying discernment has been my most recent, like I'd say the last 5 years, lesson as a human female leader. And that, you know, one of my virtues that's easy for me is generosity. There's also a shadow side to that. And I would think the loving, enlightened thing to do would be to give them the 3rd, 4th chance, or the money before it was actually earned, or to kind of privilege their oversensitivities, privilege their bullshit boundaries. And now I'm just like, no, I see what's best for this ecosystem. I'm committed to this ecosystem. And this is who you need to be in this vibration. And I'll help you be that. But there's actually some requirements. And this is, you know, this is back to Egypt.
Yeah.
This is the basis of initiation. Like, you don't get to, there are no shortcuts to initiation. You don't get to skip steps. Each rung of the ladder, each chakra, each lesson, we're going to learn to work with money now. We're going to learn to work with mindset. So heart-centered leadership, of course, is about the virtue of loving kindness. Loving kindness in the Buddhist terms would be unconditional friendliness, which we would say now in our culture, it's healthy inclusiveness. And that also means discernment. So you don't let a fox into the hen house.
Yeah.
But bless the fox. Fox has its role, just not in your timeline. Yeah.
And I think that is love, isn't it? When you don't, feels like you're not enabling the other people, you're calling them, holding them to a standard.
Yes. And when you're not healed, you enable people.
Totally.
When you work through your shadow stuff and the gnarlies, you honor people. Yeah. Because you're honoring yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't need to fix them. You can love them where they are at.
Yeah.
The fox doesn't come into your home.
Yeah. And it's not all hyper bounded and it's not diva. Like, discernment is not diva at all. People will project diva onto you because of your standards, but it's just, we do what needs to be done with love. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I'm into 2nd and 3rd chances too. I mean, just my team are family now. And I really question this because I took a little cup of bro Kool-Aid one day and I was listening to a Tim Ferriss podcast, and I love Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
And the value he adds. This has nothing to do with Tim, actually. He was interviewing, I forget his name, the former only founder of Netflix. And Netflix came up with a policy that they operated as team, not family, because he thought that the ethos of family was we're loyal no matter what, we're forgiving no matter what, and it got a little lackadaisical.
Yeah.
And no, we're team. You got to perform. And I like to think we're a family team. Doesn't mean I wouldn't let anybody go if things went south, but for me, heart-centered leadership is your happiness matters as much to me as my happiness. I want to know your goals. You want to get a mortgage payment together? All right, let's go sell some workshops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a word that you could create that is a hybrid between family and team.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
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 I could see that spinning.
It's not like sister wives.
Sister wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think it is important with the standards, and also with our team, we do the same, understanding the goals and then helping people get there and not enabling them. So having a standard, because I think ultimately for me, I see their potential. I know what's possible.
Yeah.
And we all want to rise together.
One of my sweetest lessons with leading is it used to be when I interviewed people, I'll be like, okay, let me tell you the vision. And who doesn't want to ride on enthusiasm? Like everybody want to draft on this kind of visionary energy. And now I don't do that. I just say, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
And what do you see here? It's just, I relax into it. I don't have to impress anybody with where we're going. And because when you lead with enthusiasm and sort of in that first stage, people are going to look at where they can tell you what you want to hear. It's a recipe for fawning. And you don't see people's strengths off the bat.
Yeah, instead they can share that vision that they have for their own life, and you see if it fits within your brain.
Yeah, or it's like the first date where they've read your profile and they know that you like frappuccinos and walks on the beach, and they show up with a frappuccino and a walk on the beach. You don't know who they are. It takes longer. That's in an interview situation, you just need to get to like, have you even got muscle for vision? And I mean, this is more nuanced. Not everybody on your team needs to be a visionary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have too many ideators and you'll just talk about what you could do all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. You need the doers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is amazing. Thank you.
Amazing.
I feel like we can keep
Just
going.
I know. To podcast
I'm back.
and yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 3 questions that I ask everyone.
Oh, I love these always.
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
You ready for them?
Yeah.
Okay. First is abundance in one word. Go.
Generosity, consciousness. Yeah. That's 2 words, but it's
Yeah.
great.
Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah. Oh, do I want to expand on that?
Yeah.
Well, the roots of it is that you believe we all come from the same source. And I live in an infinity loop.
Yeah.
I actually have a practice called infinity looping. So what I give.
Have you seen my logo? It's like the devil infinity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Tiffany. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more about
to give is to receive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can get that in, like cognitively. Yeah. To give is to receive. But the ego will say, well, because it's all going to come back to me tenfold. But the heart says, because we're all one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm giving to you, we're related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that you brought that up. The infinity sign. Okay. The second question is, you're on the Mystic Millionaire podcast. So So do you have one thing that you indulge in that may be like a guilty pleasure that keeps you in the abundance frequency?
Yes. Pain au chocolat with Earl Grey tea.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I look for the best. Like after
you were just in France. Wow.
Just in Paris. And I was like, I'm having 2 a day.
I love it.
And I had good ones and I had bad ones and I had impeccable ones. But it's just, It's the time of just sitting and having the croissant.
Yeah.
It's the giving myself just that. I don't even think of it as cheap food. It's like I don't even eat gluten. I don't do sugar. Like I have a low carb, low inflammation life, you know. It's just like, yeah, this is such pleasure, earthly pleasure.
And how often do you do that for yourself?
I want to actually make it a Sunday thing,
Yeah.
like part of church.
Yeah. I love it.
Do my gratitude practice and go. And where I'm really loving right now is Bonjour Bakery on Fur and Fifth in Vancouver. Yeah.
And Paris. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I actually have a croissant ritual on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
There's a incredible bakery in Collingwood called the Collingwood Bread Company, and I actually wake up on Saturdays, and you have to be there by like 8:15 because they sell out.
Yeah.
And there's a line, even in like minus 30 weather. And
The entrepreneur in me is just like, make more. Why?
Yeah. And they also don't have a phone number, so you can't pre-order, even for events. I'm like, I want to buy 100. Nope.
Just buy them, buy the business. Yeah.
So I'm one of those people that lines up
Mm.
and I buy extra and I freeze them because sometimes I'm not in Collingwood and I bring them home. But I love that, having croissant on the weekend. And I usually have a coffee because I don't drink coffee. And I'll have a cappuccino and sit and relax and I write and read.
It's like
by the
so
fire.
sweet human.
So I love that pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, third question
Yeah.
is you only have one book for the rest of your life.
Yes.
For the rest of your life. What book?
Yes. Kabbalion.
Mm.
Yeah, which we gave out as a gift to everybody who came with us to Egypt. This is a great question because I'm really playing with this idea of focusing on one teaching for a year and really going deep. And it was a slight tug of war for me between the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is Satchidananda, and this is the teaching of all teachings for a yogic life. So something, just sign up, really interesting about that is really their moral metaphysical teachings. And out of the 300 and some sutras, little sutras is like a pearl of wisdom, little paragraph of intel. Only one of them has to do with a physical posture.
Wow.
So it's not about asana.
Yeah.
It's about beingness. But on an island, what would win out is the Kabbalion. So this is Hermetic philosophy, also referred to as Kemetic philosophy. This is Egyptian teaching. And my belief, and I feel like this is why, you know, when we walk around Egypt, everybody from, you know, like the guy who's giving you tea to the stewardesses say, welcome home. And it sounds like it is great tourism, but I really think it's deeply esoteric. Like, I feel that when the we-ness of us decided to come to Earth, like we're going to be embodied, like let's do this human thing. I think we entered in through Egypt. Yeah. So it is really that original La Portal.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's why Hermetics appeals to me or if it's a psychological thing right now, but it's the principles of life. It's the laws of duality. Yeah. And it's this big, the book. It's 7 principles. I just read it over and over again. You can put it in your purse.
I have it with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it actually when you shared that book with you. I was kind of freaking out. Remember? I was like, this is what I've learned from Bob.
Yeah. Well, the great teachers either are drawing from it overtly or it's in the gestalt, like it's in the field. This is how life works. Polarity, masculine, feminine, the law of gender, divine masculine, divine feminine, like all the things, how manifestation works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't get away from it. So it's best to understand the laws because they're impacting you all the time, whether you know it or not.
Yeah. Smooth ending, Danielle.
Great answer.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle LaPorte, for being here.
Danielle.
Yeah. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you here today in Austin and our trips to Egypt. And I know that there's many more
let's
experiences.
You got the Egypt eyes right now.
Do I?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you kind of have the Hathor. I would say the Hathor eyes. I was thinking that as you were sitting there. Like, she's embodying Hathor today.
Seen my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.